A good doctor once helped a patient get better without getting an accurate history of their symptoms. Said no one ever. Now, if that is you, if your loved one is telling you one story about their symptoms, but the second that doctor walks in the door, tells you a completely separate one, you are not alone. This happens to so many of us, and you're frustrated because you want the best for them and get the care that they need, but that's really difficult because their narrative keeps changing. So how do you know what's actually going on and what kind of care they do need? This happens to so many of us, and I've tried so many things over the years, but ultimately what I'm going to share with you is the one thing that I have found the most effective. And it's not really hard. It's actually pretty simple, but you have to think about it proactively. So a few days before the appointment, I start reflecting. I start writing down all of these stories that I've heard from my loved one about their symptoms since the last appointment, and or the things that I have witnessed with my own eyes. And sometimes if you have a daily planner, this helps because then you can go back and triangulate that information. But nonetheless, I get that piece of paper and then I use it to have a conversation with my loved one, because too often as humans, we have this discord in our head of all these things that are going on. But when we take those things and we put them down on paper, it becomes facts and we can have a very tangible conversation, because there are times when all of us, we maybe over exaggerate things or we under appreciate really what some of the symptoms are. But when they're on a piece of paper, we can have a very clear conversation about what has been going on, and most importantly, what is relevant and pertinent that we have to bring up to the doctor. And then guess what? When that appointment comes around, I take that handy little piece of paper with me. So regardless of how my loved one casually presents the information, I have the facts there on the paper that I can use to guide the discussion and give to the provider so that they have as much information as they can to best care for my loved one. So I know this can be frustrating, but this is something that I have seen work and pretty darn effectively. So as with so many of these caregiver topics, there's no one right answer for everyone, but I do hope this information helps you on your journey. And if you have learned any other tips, I'd love to hear those as well.